Coe. He operated in the days of Oral Roberts. And Coe ministry was huge, that he built a tent bigger than Oral Roberts' tent. And the media blew him up that he was bigger than Oral Roberts. His tent was bigger than Oral. Hear me. Your generation is a very dangerous generation because of social media. So you have to be very careful. And they blew Coe up to compete with Oral. But Oral didn't make a statement. He kept quiet.
Two men, same generation, same revival, same message on healing, power, and miracle. One died at the age of 38. The other one lived up till 90 years and reshaped global Christianity. Now, this wasn't even about anointing or even about crowds or gifts. This was something that was happening on the inside. The 1940s and the 1950s were explosive years for Christianity in America. It was the healing revival. There were tent meetings, there were miracles, there was media attention, there was crowds, names like A.A. Allen, William Branham, Catherine Kuhlman, and standing among them were Coe and Oral Roberts. Coe was magnetic, fearless, bold, and funny. He built what people called the Tent Cathedral, which was bigger than anyone else's, including Oral Roberts.
The generations coming, which is you, are very powerful generations, and you need to learn a lot to survive. I watched something when it comes to the different revivers. And I looked at the healing revival, the 1940s, the Azusa, 1905, 1907 revival. Then I look at people like A.A. Allen and Coe. He operated in the days of Oral Roberts. And Coe ministry was huge, that he built a tent bigger than Oral Roberts' tent.
Now the media noticed this. Headlines framed him as the bigger name, the faster rise, and the new giant of that era. Oral Roberts saw the same headlines. In fact, he saw the comparisons, but he didn't compete publicly. He didn't even defend himself or retaliate. He kept building, slowly, intentionally, and with structure.
And the media blew him up that he was bigger than Oral Roberts. His tent was bigger than Oral. Hear me. Your generation is a very dangerous generation because of social media. So you have to be very careful. And they blew Coe up to compete with Oral. But Oral didn't make a statement. He kept quiet. And he kept on building and doing what he was called to do. Coe died at the age of 38. And Oral lived some 50, 60 years and died at about 93, 94. And Coe ministries withered.
The rivalry nobody talks about, right? And I feel people rarely speak about this because Coe's ministry didn't collapse because of lack of power. It collapsed because the power now became louder than the process. He had the pressure of comparison, the speed of visibility, and the weight of expectations. The revival celebrated what could be seen and not what was being formed. Now, Coe died at the age of 38 years and his ministry collapsed with him. Oral Roberts lived longer, if not decades longer. He lived longer. And this was not because of the anointing he had. It was because he was well anchored, because of character. He didn't allow the pressure of public opinion to put pressure on him, the pressure of comparison, the speed of visibility, the weight of expectation from the court of public opinion.
Coe ministries withered. William Branham, Catherine Kuhlman, and so many others. And I realized that if the anointing on you is greater than the anointing in you, you are in trouble. Because the anointing in you is to perform. but the anointing within develops character. And it is character that gives longevity, not anointing and not giftings. So don't build on anointing and don't build on gifts, and don't build on power upon. Build by anointing within. Because this generation is into numbers and is into what you can see. We are moved by what we can see. We are not moved by character anymore. We are not moved by values anymore. It's about what you can see, and everybody wants what they see. Is also a form of covetousness. So we are coveting each other's blessings. We are coveting one another's wife and husbands without even knowing it. Heavy covetousness in the church is a social media generation.
Archbishop Duncan-Williams put words to what history already showed. If the anointing on you is greater than the anointing in you, then you are in trouble. Because the anointing on you performs, but the anointing within you forms character. And character gives longevity. Now, looking at this social media generation, the temptation is still the same. Visibility without formation, numbers without nurture, and then anointing without depth. The cost is still the same. That is what Archbishop Duncan-Williams is trying to make us understand. That character building is more important than attention building. Bring this to our dispensation. You would find out that covetousness did not start on Instagram. It just got louder, right? With things that have previously happened in the past. Now, we don't only want what people have, we want what they appear to be. And appearance is a dangerous foundation. The lesson of Coe and Oral Roberts isn't about rivalry. It's about root systems. One grew fast, one grew deep, and only one lasted. The question isn't how visible is anointing. It's how firm is inner life. History has already answered the question for us.